Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Fredwreck.
Fredwreck. Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
One of the producers on the album, The Doggumentary, and I produced the song Peer Pressure, featuring the fabulous Traci Nelson.
If I do, if I don't, if I will, if I won't, I mix the C with the P and flip the G with the phone. Got you rapping in school, my nigga acting a fool. He got suspended, now he all alone in his room, playing my CD, la-da-dee-da-dee.
Basically, I don't have one set way that I make a song. You know, some days I'll just pick up the guitar and I'll just play around, and then I'll record a lick and I'll say, oh wow, that lick is cool. All right, let me start with the lick. Or I'll be listening to drum files and make my own drum kits and start with the drums, or I'll be on the keyboard playing some keys and some chords, and you know, it just depends. So I think this song pretty much came about from, I did the drum pattern first and then I added the bass line to it first. The sounds that Snoop likes, I mean, if you are hanging out with Snoop, he's always listening to oldies. I mean, he's our DJ now. So I take that into consideration. I know he likes the funk, and I know he likes stuff to be slumpy and just real, just nasty and just bubbly. Sometimes I'll add stuff, then later on after Snoop does his vocals or somebody does the hook, I'll take stuff out because I'll be like, it's too cluttery. So, you know, the whole song isn't about the music. The song is about the artist and what he's speaking about. Because at the end of the day, when I get all the instruments in there, after the recording process of it and getting the vocals down and everything in there, it starts becoming, every track in there is an instrument, whether it's him or it's Traci Nelson. To me, they just become an instrument. So I'm not gonna have the guitar louder than Snoop. Snoop is an instrument to me, and he's gotta be just as loud as the guitar. It's like everything has to have its place in the mix, like on the left or the right. He's got to have his vocals right. Every word you should be able to hear every word, just like every sound you should be able to hear every sound. Well, the idea of the song there wasn't really any sample that it came out of. It was all an original composition, and basically it was just a jam session in the studio one day where I was just making some tracks. Snoop was working on his album at that time, so I kind of just went into the studio and got the instruments together that I know that he likes to hear, and kind of just had him in mind the whole time of catering to something that he likes, but also something that would be something new. That day Traci Nelson had just came by. Traci Nelson is a very well-renowned artist around the camp. She's one of the most talented singers that I've worked with, and she just came in and she was like, hey, I got something for that. So she came in and wrote the words down, and we kind of just finessed it and worked the music around it and put it down and sent it to Snoop. At first, when she came in and she did it, she just did, I just wanna let you ride. She came in, she said, who is this track for? I said, I wanna do something for Snoop. She's like, oh, okay, I got you. And she came in and she wrote it in a second. That's just how Traci Nelson is. And she's like, okay, I got you. And she sang that, I just wanna get you, I just wanna let you ride. Get your high, smoke weed till I die. And then at the end, when we were doing it, she started doing that peer pressure. Peer pressure. I said, that's it, that's the chorus. It's like we're telling you to do something, but it's like the yin and the yang. It's like the devil on your shoulder and the good angel on your other shoulder. We just want to let you ride. I get you high, smoke weed till you die. But her other thing is to come in and say, peer pressure. It's like for you to decide, you know what I mean? I played all the instruments myself, yeah. Played guitar, played the keyboards. Only instrument I didn't play is Traci Nelson. The first time I met Snoop, me and Exhibit used to be roommates together. And Exhibit was working on his album, and Superfly was working on Exhibit's album. He came in the back one day and was in the back of my house where I used to have my studio, and was like, yo, let me have a beat CD. So I gave him a beat CD, and in like 4 or 5 days he called me on the phone and he said, hey, listen to this beat I just made. And he was playing me a beat over the phone, and I'm like, man, that sounds like my beat. So I was like, hey, that's my beat, man. He's like, yeah, I know, man, come down here to the studio, bring the files or whatever. And we want to record this song. So when I got down there to the studio that day, it was Snoop, Corrupt, Daz, Trady, Battle Cat, Butch Cassidy, Nate Dogg. Everybody was there, and it was Represent That GC. So that was the first time I met him, and he was already writing to the song. And Superfly introduced me to him and was like, yo, this is Fredwreck. And he was like, yeah, nephew, I really like your tracks. I would like it if you come down to my house tomorrow, man. I'd like to chop up some game with you. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, take my number down. So I took his number down. Next day, I drove all the way out there to his house, the Dog House, and he was sitting there getting his hair braided, playing video games, and he was just like, hey man, you know, I'm starting this new label. It's called Doggy Style. I'd really like you to be down with me and produce some music. And if you work with me, I'll make you a rich man. That's what he told me, exact words. I was like, man, hell yeah, I'm down. His next words were, you know how to play Madden? I was like, yeah, I know how to play Madden. He's like, grab that stick, nephew. And that was it, you know. We've been friends ever since. He makes making music fun. Like, he really makes it fun because, you know, it's serious, but it's like you feel good about making music. Like it makes me feel like when I first started out making music in the garage, and like my homies would come over and just, yo, make a beat, let me rap, and we'd make tapes. It's kind of like that feeling. And whenever he wants to work on an album, there's no question about anything. Like there's no business involved or anything. Like it's like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because it's just fun. It's just fun making music with him, period.
Just wanna let you ride, get pressure, get you high, get fresh till I die, get pressure. I just wanna let you ride.
Church, preach, tabernacle.